There's more energy out there. I'm not talking about the sun alone, which has more than we can use. So I'm saying that the system you live under deprives people. Patents, when you take a patent out, other nations can use that for growing food faster or better. But they can't because you got a patent on it. So patents will belong to everyone in the nation, but all inventors and all people will be taken care of, medically and every other way. Do you understand that? Since everybody has access to wristwatches or anything they want, the only thing that's private is after the change, you may have some original Picasso paintings. Okay? So if you have about 100 paintings that you like, we asked you to put it on tour so others might enjoy it. She said, no, they're mine. So we put that in the local bulletin. She said, no, they're mine. And pretty soon you'll be pushed by your neighbors to put that out. We don't twist your wrist. You understand? She said, no. That's all you have to do.
I have a question about the housing situation. Now, say this house right here has the best view out of any house.
Yeah.
What person gets that house? What does it do?
They don't get into that city with that value system.
Yeah. I understand the thinking will be different, but
yeah.
But if many,
let's say there's a less desirable job during the transition. Coal mining is not very pleasant. So whatever it is, cleaning out the washrooms. In France, they have washrooms that are self-clean. Did you know that?
Yeah.
All right, now, so we can make we don't need any dirty jobs. But during the transition, if you have a dirty job, you work 2 hours a day, you get 3 days off, or you get a month's vacation instead of a week and a half or 2 weeks. You just vary the reinforcement. You get anybody to do anything.
Absolutely.
Do you understand what I'm saying? It's very easy to get people to work in hospitals instead of working 3 hours. If a guy that's very heavy, say, shits in bed, the nurses have to turn him over, clean the bed. There's a section of bed that pulls out. If he has to defecate, he can. But instead of rolling over, the bed itself has 2 cases, and it leans and he rolls over. You don't need people to do that. You don't need people doing diagnostic work. In other words, when you go to medical school, they'll show you a certain type of skin disorder and tell you that's psoriasis. So then you look at something else and they, oh, that pattern's measles. You have to remember those patterns. That's part of medical training. But all you have to do is photograph every known skin disease, every known skin disease. Then you hold your hand in front of an analytical scanner, and it scans connected to the best dermatologist in the world, and you get the immediate prescription for that. You know, you don't need a guy saying, not sure, Dr. Jones, can you come in here? These guys been around a lot. You know, that's a form of Jamaican malaria. It's a little different than malaria found in the South Seas. And he points out the difference. So all those things, everything a person learns can be programmed. We can make a desktop analytical diagnostician in an hour and a half. Instead of wiping the baby's ass, sending him to school, again, he goes to medical school, and he works as a waiter while he's going to school because he doesn't have the money. So we can make those things. All you do is hold your hand up, tell us the right way. Because the doctor is only comparing what he sees with what he learned. So that's what I mean by most professions. 90% will be displaced. And if you look at the auto industry, people used to assemble cars. Now you'll see a whole bunch of computers pick up the doors and put them on and the wheels. Have you noticed that in the automobile companies? Now, automation is an ongoing process. If you continue the system, the money system, with automation coming in, the people won't have the purchasing power to buy the things. So that's the end of the system. No system can freeze and keep going forever, because things change. So you can delay it, you can delay change for a year, but it'll break down. That's where you're at now. You're at a turning point in the way the world does its business, conducts affairs. People are looking more so now. There'll be no solutions except one nation conquering other nations, turning prisoners loose. America has the largest prison population, and they're privatized a lot of them. So what will happen, they're going to have to turn the prisoners loose. And first, the prisoners are not too dangerous. guys that were caught gambling or prostitution, they'll turn them loose first. Then later on they'll turn the others loose. Then it'll be too difficult to manage, and they'll call out the Army and Navy in the impoverished areas, say you have to be in your house at 9 o'clock. No walking around the streets at night, because crime is going to accelerate as this process continues. It's not going to work. And if you know about the Venus Project, talk to people about it. Talk about what we're trying to do. There's no Fresco in charge. Because who makes the decision in the Venus Project? I want to tell you, this is a very important part of it. No one. Here's how it works. We take samples of the soil, say, from all over America. Let's say we just did one. It goes to Central Agriculture. There they analyze the soil. And by the contents, the agronomists, not farmers, tell you it's best to grow beets for 3 years, then change to carrots. That's not an opinion. That's a finding. There's no more, what do you think, what do you think, what do you know? So we do research in different areas. When a new drug comes out, we try it experimentally. For example, they do chemotherapy and radiation therapy, which is very, very painful, very unpleasant, and doesn't usually save the person either. So what we would do is take cancer cells in the future. If I kicked a bucket, you can tell this to your fellow medics. They could take cancer cells and keep them alive and treat the cancer growth itself, not person, until you gain control. But your problem is not treating cancer, heart disease, or cystic fibrosis. Your problem is living systems. So you cultivate living tissue and control its rate of growth, faster, slower. Once you gain control of living systems and living organisms, you learn how to control them, then you approach a disease. This way, not only researchers doing medical research, there are areas all over the world. The whole system is wrong. And you got airplane designers, by the way. When I was at Wright Field, they built a $50 million wind tunnel. And I said to I was just a corporal. I just didn't want to go through military training. So I said, that wind tunnel is a nothing thing. I said that to a major. He said, what do you mean? He got angry. I said, you got to give me at least a half hour, and you can put me in the clink. He said, fair enough. Very good. So I said, the wind tunnel says that this is the best shape for an airplane. That's what the wind tunnel does say. But you need a radar in front, so you put a ball there. You need a machine gunner in the back, so you put a machine gunner. Then you need a pilot's cabin with a glass sticking up. Then you need a gunner behind them to protect them. You can't retract the bomb bay doors if they're compound curved. They have to be straight, then they can travel up the track. So what the hell do you want a wind tunnel for? Just build what you need, okay? So why don't they do that? I said, because they're assholes. He said to me, I got to talk to the colonel about you. We got to get you a private lab. He talked to the colonel. The colonel said, why doesn't he go to OCS? He said, because he hates the military and everything connected. He said, I don't want to talk to him. I couldn't see the colonel. I didn't know, I wasn't tactical then enough to get to him. But anyway, I would have turned the army around at Wright Field, but I didn't have enough information and technique for doing that. Do you understand this example? Okay. That's why you have to be able to say, I addressed a bunch of policemen years ago, see how they reacted. I said, you know, we really don't need policemen. Oh, they said, you gotta have policemen. You gotta call them in case of emergency, you know. I said, this is how we can do away with them. I can put a little gadget. If you don't know what a chimograph is, there's a cylinder that scribes earthquakes and other things. You've seen that, I'm sure. Oh, I put a chimograph in every automobile where it says 60 miles an hour. If you go 80 miles an hour, the chimograph registers. Anything above the regulated speed, you have to mail that in once a week. So if you want people to drive safely, you can do that. Everybody doesn't understand what I'm talking about. This cylinder is in your car. If you violate the regulation, no left turn in a right turn district, it's on the chimograph. And every month you have to tear that and mail it in, all your violations.